The quantum relay hummed in the observation deck as Ana Martinez stared at the holographic star map, her fingers tracing the familiar blue dot that represented Earth. 47 light-years away, yet it felt like a lifetime. The Kepler station orbited a red dwarf in the Gliese system, humanity's first successful extrasolar colony, and she had been its chief xenobiologist for 3 years now. "You're doing it again," David Chen said, materializing beside her with 2 cups of synthetic coffee. His reflection in the viewport showed the same exhaustion she felt: dark circles, unkempt hair, the weight of impossible discoveries pressing down on both of them. "Doing what?" Anna accepted the cup, though the recycled taste had long since lost its appeal. "Staring at home like it holds answers." David activated his neural interface, and streams of data cascaded across his retinas, information only he could see. The council transmission came through. "They want our full report on the Viridian contact." Anna's jaw tightened. The Viridian encounter 3 months ago had changed everything. Humanity's first meeting with an advanced alien civilization should have been a moment of celebration. Instead, it had revealed a truth that made her question everything she thought she knew about Earth's place in the cosmos. "Did you include the biological data?" she asked. "All of it," David's expression darkened, "including what we found in their genetic archives." The discovery had been accidental. During the cultural exchange on Viridian Prime, Anna had been granted access to their biological databases, a gesture of goodwill from a species that had achieved interstellar travel when Earth's ancestors were still in the Bronze Age. What she found there defied explanation. Humanity existed in their records, not as recent contacts, but as ancient entries dating back 17,000 years. "The Council thinks we're misinterpreting the data," Anna said, pulling up the classified files on her own interface. "They say convergent evolution could explain the genetic similarities." David laughed, a bitter sound. "Convergent evolution doesn't create 97% DNA compatibility across species that evolved on planets 300 light-years apart. You know that. I know that. The Council knows that too. They're just terrified of the implications." Anna navigated through the Viridian archives, information her brain had nearly memorized from obsessive review. The entries weren't just genetic data. They were warnings. Documentation of a species cataloged as Terran strain alpha, aggressive, adaptive, possessing an unmatched capacity for rapid evolution and technological acceleration. But it was the classification that haunted her. Quarantine protocol violated status, escaped containment. "The Viridians weren't the first to find these records," Anna said quietly. "When I cross-referenced with the fragments from the Andorian probe we recovered last year, the pattern emerged. At least 7 advanced civilizations have encountered information about humans before we ever left our solar system." David moved beside her, calling up a timeline he'd constructed. "And look at the dates. Every major human evolutionary leap corresponds with astronomical events, unusual solar radiation bursts, unexpected asteroid compositions rich in complex organic compounds. Anna, what if Earth wasn't the cradle of humanity? What if it was a prison?" The theory had formed between them over weeks of sleepless analysis, each new data point reinforcing what seemed impossible. Earth's evolutionary record was too perfect, too accelerated. Modern humans had emerged with brains capable of abstract thought, language, and technological innovation in a geological blink of an eye. The so-called missing links in human evolution weren't missing. They had never existed. "Viridians showed me something else," Anna said, her voice barely above a whisper. She pulled up a restricted file, one she hadn't shared with anyone, not even David. In their oldest religious texts, there's a story about a species that nearly consumed the galaxy in a war that lasted 10,000 years. They called them the hunger that walks, beings that couldn't stop expanding, consuming resources, adapting to any challenge. The coalition that finally defeated them didn't destroy them. They couldn't. So they scattered them across hundreds of worlds, genetically reduced them to pre-sapient states, and hoped they'd never evolve back. David's face had gone pale, and one of those worlds was Earth. 17,000 years ago, something went wrong. Maybe the genetic locks degraded. Maybe it was intentional sabotage. But humans started evolving again, faster than the containment protocols could suppress. Anna's hands trembled as she navigated through archaeological data from Earth. Look at this. The sudden emergence of complex tools, cave art, symbolic thinking. It all started roughly 17,000 years ago, right when the Viridian records indicate the containment breach. That's why they fear us, David said, understanding flooding his features. It's not about our weapons or our armies. It's because we're proof that the containment failed. We're the species that consumed the galaxy once before, and we're waking up again. Anna pulled up recent data from Earth, the exponential curve of technological advancement over the past 2 centuries. From the Industrial Revolution to quantum computing in less than 300 years. From the first flight to extrasolar colonization in just over a century. We're accelerating, she said. Every generation faster. The Viridians have had interstellar travel for 12,000 years, but their technological curve is nearly flat. They advance slowly, carefully, over millennia. Humans went from radio to quantum entanglement communication in less than a lifetime. David, we're not evolving normally. We're remembering. David accessed the neural pattern data they'd collected from human colonists. The dreams, he said suddenly. The surveys we conducted, 73% of colonists report recurring dreams of cities they've never seen, technologies that don't exist yet. We attributed it to stress and isolation. But what if it's genetic memory? What if buried in our DNA are blueprints from before the containment? The implications crashed over them like a wave. Humanity's drive to explore, to expand, to consume knowledge and resources. It wasn't just ambition or curiosity. It was genetic imperative, a coded directive from a species engineered for galactic domination. The Galactic Council has known this from the beginning, Anna said, accessing encrypted communications she'd managed to decrypt. Our application for membership has been stalled for 7 years, not because of bureaucracy, because they're debating whether to destroy us preemptively. She displayed the messages, cold, bureaucratic language discussing the Terran problem and containment options. Some delegates argued for immediate military intervention. Others suggested subtle sabotage, introducing limiting factors into Earth's biosphere, engineering economic collapse, anything to slow humanity's expansion. But a third faction advocated for engagement, for integration. Their argument was simple. Humanity had proven impossible to contain once before. Any attempt to suppress them now would only trigger the adaptive response that made them dangerous in the first place. The only hope was to guide them, to help them evolve past their original programming. That's why they allowed Kepler Station, David realized. Why they gave us the star charts and the quantum relay technology. They're trying to acculturate us, to show us there's another way to exist in the galaxy besides conquest. Anna nodded slowly, and the Viridians broke protocol to show me the archives because some of them believe we deserve to know the truth. That keeping us ignorant only makes us more dangerous. So what do? David asked. We're sitting on information that could either save humanity or condemn us. If we reveal this, Earth will panic. If we don't, we're complicit in the Council's manipulation. Anna looked at the star map again, at the small blue dot representing home, where 8 billion people lived their lives unaware that they were the descendants of the galaxy's most feared species. She thought of her sister on Earth, her nephew who wanted to be an astronaut, all the ordinary people whose existence was a cosmic accident of failed containment. We tell the truth, she said finally, but we frame it differently, not as a warning of what we were, but as a challenge of what we could become. Humanity's greatest strength has always been our ability to change, to adapt. If we were once engineered for conquest, we can engineer ourselves for cooperation. We have the choice those ancient humans didn't have to know our nature and to transcend it. David was quiet for a long moment. You realize they'll call us traitors, the Council for revealing their surveillance, Earth for confirming their worst fears about themselves. Probably, Anna admitted. But the alternative is living a lie while the galaxy debates our execution. At least this way, humanity faces the truth with open eyes. She began compiling the data into a comprehensive report: genetic evidence, archaeological correlations, the Viridian archives, the Council communications. Everything. A complete picture of humanity's origin and the cosmic fear they inspired. We'll send it on every channel simultaneously, Anna said. To Earth, to the Council, to every human colony. No one gets to control this information. As David helped her prepare the transmission, Anna felt a strange sense of peace. Perhaps this was also part of their heritage, the refusal to accept limitations, even those imposed by genetic destiny. If humanity was truly the galaxy's most adaptive species, then they could adapt beyond their original purpose. The transmission queue filled with petabytes of data, ready to cascade across the quantum network the moment they initiated the sequence. Last chance to back out, David said, his finger hovering over the confirmation. Anna thought of Earth, spinning in space, beautiful and terrible and home. Send it. The quantum relay pulsed, and the truth scattered across the galaxy at the speed of entanglement. Somewhere, alarms were probably already sounding in the Galactic Council chambers. On Earth, scientists would soon be wrestling with the impossible evidence. And humanity would have to decide, would they be defined by what they were engineered to be or by what they chose to become? Anna watched the confirmation codes stream across her display, each one a star system receiving humanity's darkest secret. The galaxy feared Earth not because of weapons or armies, but because humans represented the failure of an ancient prison, the return of a hunger that had once threatened to consume everything. But fear, Anna thought, could also be the beginning of understanding. And understanding might be humanity's true evolution, not the conquest written in their genes, but the wisdom to rise above it. The observatory lights dimmed to night cycle, and in the darkness, Anna and David waited to see whether they had saved humanity or doomed it. Outside the viewport, the stars gleamed, indifferent and eternal, witnesses to countless rises and falls of civilizations. Humanity's story was still being written, and for the first time they would write it knowing the truth of their beginning. The galaxy would watch and wait and wonder if the ancient hunger could learn to become something more.